Okay, Bez Hashem, today's daf is Metzia daf Mem Beis. We're going to begin right from the Mishnah on daf Mem Beis Amud Aleph. Hamafkid Mois Eitzel Chaveroi. Someone who deposits money to his friends. So the guy is supposed to be the watchman of the money. Tsarim v'Yivshilan la'achoyref. And what he did was he bound up the money, let's say in a kerchief, wrapped it up, and he slunk it over his back. Okay, he's like a stick, and the money is in the back behind him. That's not a good way of obviously watching money, because the money could the thing could break open, and then the money could start dropping out of your backpack. Or shemasrum lebnoi levitoi haktanim. Or the man gave it over, instead of watching it himself, he gave it over to his son, his daughter, who are under bar mitzvah. And v'noel b'fneim shloikaroi. And besides giving it to his kids to watch the money, he didn't close the house up correctly. He left it unlocked, so to speak. So if something happens with the money, chayev, he's obligated to pay. He's held liable. That's not the way shloishima kederach hashomer, because he didn't watch it normally the way a shomer is supposed to watch money. When you're watching money, especially in those times, money was not replaceable. Okay, money was not replaceable, and therefore, if you didn't watch the money correctly, so then you're held liable. Hi, we just did the Mishnah. Okay, so that's why the shomer is held liable, because he didn't watch the money correctly. The im shimar kederach hashomerim, but if he watched it in the normal way, and he watched it in the normal way, and the Gemara is going to speak about how are you supposed to watch money if you are a shomer. So the Gemara is going to tell you how to do that. Potter, you're not held liable. So the Gemara says, Bishlama kulu shaloshima kederach hashomerim. I can understand why, if you gave it to your son and daughter, you didn't do a good shmira, especially if you didn't close the house up so somebody could walk in, take the money. The kids left the money on the kitchen table, and the house is unlocked. So of course, you're held liable. Ella, says the Gemara, if he wrapped it up and put it in a backpack, and he's holding the money in his back, on his back, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? So I explained to you that you're not watching the money in front of you. You're watching the money behind you. Amar Rava, Amar Rav Yitzchak. So Rava said in the name of Yitzchak, the problem with watching money, Amakra, the pasuk says, "V'tzarto hakesef biyadecha." The Torah gives you an example when you're taking ma'aser sheni and you're changing the kedusha of ma'aser sheni on to money. So the Torah tells you, be careful with the money. Wrap the money and keep the money in your hand. Afal pishet rurin, even though the money's wrapped up and it's not going to roll away. It has to be in your hand. V'yam Rabbi Yitzchak, and Rabbi Yitzchak said, "La'olam yehi kaspay shel adam matzu biyadei." Rabbi Yitzchak, now the Gemara just gives you advice on money. First of all, la'olam yehi kaspay shel adam matzu biyadei. You should always keep cash on hand. What this means, Rabbi Yitzchak is giving you advice that you should always have cash. You shouldn't always carry credit cards or things like that, or checks, because you never know. Maybe somebody needs tzedakah, and by having cash at hand, you can give them the tzedakah right away and grab the mitzvah. Shenema, there's a remez to that, a hint. Tzarto hakesef biyadcha. Always have money wrapped in your hand. So it's always good to have a little cash in your hands. Now the Gemara gives you investment advice. The Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, and this is, I think, of the most important Gemara you could find about how to manage your investments. Very simple. Rabbi Yitzchak gives you simple advice. La'olam yashlish adam es ma'osav. A person should divide his assets, his investment dollars, into three parts. Shlish bekarka, a third of the money should be invested into real estate. Ushlish beprakamatya, and a third should be in business, like stock market or whatever, a business. Ushlish taches yodei. Wow. And keep a third of your cash handy. First of all, you never know, you're going to have a rainy day. But more importantly, usually you'll probably experience it a few times in your life where you think the whole world is going under, like in COVID, or like the internet meltdown, or the financial meltdown in 2008. So I experienced it 3 times. If you took your cash at that moment when everybody's running for the exits, and like Buffett, and you invested the money at that time, there's a good, you'll make much more at that time. So you should always keep a third of your money in cash and wait for that rainy day because it's definitely going to happen. V'yam Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak said, "Ein habracha mitzuya ela bedavar hasamu min ayin." Beautiful. Bracha does not happen to somebody only if it's covered from the eye. In other words, if you have a an old car or something like that and it's working, you don't have to give it the exact age of the car. That's the bracha. The bracha is that when something lasts longer than you expect, or something is working better than you expect, it's like beating averages. That's called a bracha. Okay, Rashi explains that. So, but it only if you're not going to only if it's covered from the eye. If you don't talk about it, Shenema Yitzav Hashem Itchas Abracha Ba'asamecha. Hashem is going to command the bracha Ba'asamecha when it's covered up. Tana debei Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel seem to say the same idea. Ein bracha mitzuya el bedava she'ein ha'ayin shalet this boy. That the eye does not rule over it. Okay, that means not only that, if you don't even know about it, the bracha cannot happen. Only if you really don't know about it. Shenema Yitzav Hashem Itcha es Bracha Ba'asamecha. Hashem will command again the same idea that Hashem will command Itcha with you the bracha Ba'asamecha in your whatever you're keeping covered, basically. So that's what the Gemara says. It's interesting. I once said pshat that the reason why the Gemara tells us that it's very hard for Hashem to do a zivug, kosher lezavgam kakriyas yamsuf. It's like that kind of a nace. It's difficult for Hashem to do such a nace. The reason is because a nace of a zivug is a real open nace. It's hard to explain, and God does not like to reveal Himself. He likes to be hidden. That's the challenge of life. Life is only when God is hidden. So therefore, if you want to see bracha, you have to make sure that it's hidden. You're not going to keep track of every last cent of your possessions. If you're coming to measure your storehouses, right before you measure the storehouse, it's possible, very possible, that all your wheat is going to be puffed up. It'll have more. It can puff up even before you start counting it. So you make a bracha. May God have this will. That means even if we're not deserving, whenever you say Yehi Ratzai, I mean God should have this will, even though I'm not deserving of it. But when God has a Ratzai, there's nothing to stop Him. God should send a blessing in my handiwork, in the handiwork of my hands. So I should have a bracha in my wheat. His chalamed, when you start counting the wheat, Omer, you say Baruch Hashem. Blessed is the one that sends this bracha in this oitzer. Modad va'achakach biriyah. But if you measured and then you made a bracha, that's a false. Once you know the count, then you can't make a bracha anymore. So if you say a bracha mitzuya, bracha is not found. Loy bedavar shakos, not something that has a weight on it. Loy bedavar hamadid, not something that is measured. Loy bedavar hamani, it's not something that is counted. Ela bedavar hasamim min ha'ayin, only something that is covered from the eye. Shnema, the pasuk says, Yisav Hashem itchas habracha ba'asamecha. God will command the bracha in something that's covered with your eye. Now the Gemara discusses what is the right way to, what is the proper way. If that is you're supposed to watch the money, then what is the proper way to do it? Amar Shmuel, Ksafim ein lehem shmila el b'karka. The only way to watch money is put it in the ground. Amar Rava said, Umaydi Shmuel be'erev Shabbos bein hashmashos. Shmuel said that in erev Shabbos bein hashmashos, if someone gave you money to watch, the loy atrichuhu rabbanim. The rabbis did not require you to
take the money.
Right, to take money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Because the money could be stolen money.
Right.
For Shabbos.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. Yeah. Yamani could be shown.
All
Okay.
right. That's right.
The Rabbanan did not
So just keep it.
keep it right. If if you waited Matzah Shabbos, the shear that it could bury it, and you didn't bury it, then you're chayiv. In other words, really, you're allowed to keep it for Shabbos because Matzah Shabbos, maybe the Talmud Chacham needs the money. If you're watching his money, he might need it for wine for Havdalah. So therefore, so therefore, therefore, you don't have to bury it Erev Shabbos, but Matzah Shabbos you have to bury the money. The idna and the shchicha gishkoi elam shmir el b'shmei kara. Now there people can find the money if you put it in the ground. So therefore, the best way to watch the money is if you put it into the roof. The idna the shchicha prumame elam shmir el beni urbe. If today there is no shmira, if the nowadays there's no uh there's no there's no there's no um
Shmiras,
there's no
some
shmira, only between if you put it in the wall. Amar Rava said that even any part of the wall is okay. But even nowadays the shchicha to elam shmira tefach hasam l'chaka tefach hasam l'shmei kaira. Today, the best way to put the money is either towards the bottom of the wall, mamish on the bottom of the wall, a little off the ground, or in a tefach that's a little bit in the roof. Amalei, Ravacha b'derev Yosef Ravashi Hosam Tanan. So again, you have to always be one step ahead of the people who are going to steal the money from you. So the Gemara says, Amalei Ravacha b'derev Yosef Ravashi Hosam Tanan Chomich Nafal Mapilas Harei Kemabuar. Rab Shimon ben Gamliel Mekol she'ein loch kelev yochel lechapish al. That a chometz, that a wall fell on it, it's considered it's considered as destroyed. Rab Shimon ben Gamliel says kol she'ein a kelev yochel lechapish achrov. It's destroyed as long as a dog cannot search after it. Vitana, we learned in a brisa, kama chafisas kalef. How deep could a dog find chametz? Gimel tvachim. It's 3 tvachim. The question is, hachamai mi bein shlisha tvachim aloi? Do you need 3 tvachim or not? Do you have to hide the money 3 tvachim into the ground? Amalei. So the answer, Ravashi answered, because of the smell. Then you have to put the chametz 3 tvachim into the ground. Because it's you just want to cover it from the eyes, you don't need 3 tvachim. So the kama, well, how much should you stuff the money into the ground? Put it into a tefach off the ground. Says the Gemara. A man put money by his friend, and he put it into a teepee. In other words, he put it into, let's say, a makeshift tent. Somebody was supposed to watch money, and he put it into a makeshift tent. And Ignev, it got stolen. Umar of Yosef. So putting it into a tent, you're putting it at risk. It could get burnt down. But Ganev usually is not going to look there for money. So here you have a case. He put it into the wrong place, but it was stolen. It was the item got taken away because of something not his fault. Omar of Yosef, Afagav the Inyan Ganove to Turusahi, even though regarding Ganovim it's hidden, Linyanura Pshiyasahi. But for a fire, it's a negligent thing. It's the beginning, you did a negligent thing by putting it into this tent. But in the end, it was stolen. It wasn't, the money didn't burn down. The money was stolen. So Chayev, you're obligated to pay for the money. No, not true. Even though you did something negligent, regarding Ganovim, this was watch. And therefore it's Chilasa B'Shia and Seifa B'Ainis Potter. Hilchasat, Hilasha V'sis, the halacha is Hilasha B'shia V'seifa B'oina is Chayev. It's Chayev. Ahu Gavra, there was this person, the Afkid Zuvi Gabe Chavre. The guy put money by his friend. Amalei Havli Zuzai, give me my money. Amalei Alayadana Heka Esvina. I have no idea where I put it. You gave me money to watch. I have no idea where I put it. Also, the Kami the Rava, they came to Rava. Amalei, he said, Kol Lo Yadana Pshiasahi. As long as you say I don't know it, I don't know where it is. This is a Pshia. Zil Shalem is to go pay. Go pay. Ahu Gavra, the Afkin Zuza Gabe Chavre. Ashlime Lem Ime. Oh, the guy gave money to his friend to watch. And what the guy did was he gave it to his mother to watch. So it's a shomer, shemasal l'shomer. Shomer gave another match. By siva bekat kilisa v'ignav, she put it into the closet, and it got stolen from the closet. So who's liable over here? He gave it to his mother to watch. Rava said, how should judges do this judgment? Do we tell this person, go pay? Omar, he's going to say, we go to Membez and Membez. Kol mafk, I didn't do anything wrong by giving it to my mother to watch. Kol hamafkid adas ishto yubanavu mafkid. Anybody who's watching something, he's watching it with the guy that deposited it has the understanding that he's not going to be watching it the whole time. He might give it to his children to watch. He might even give it to his mother to watch. So therefore, the guy did nothing wrong by asking his mother to watch the money. Shall we tell the mother Zil Shalime? Amra, she's going to say, she didn't tell me. The mother's going to say, what do I know? I thought it was my son's money. That's why I didn't bury it, because I didn't know. I thought it's my son's money. He's not going to mind if I don't bury it. So we're going to tell the guy, when you gave the money to your mother, why didn't you tell her it's not your money? You should have told her it's not your money. If I would have told her it's my money, now that she thinks it's my money, she's going to be even more careful. So the fact that I didn't tell her it's somebody else's money, my mother gave it all the care that she would have given me, and therefore she's not at fault. So who is at fault over here? Rava said, he swears that he gave the money to the mother. Okay, and the mother swears that I put it away in a closet. I did my best to watch it. Potter, and he's potter to pay. Okay, we're gonna do another minute, and then I have to stop over here to the next Ahu Gavra. One last story over here. Says the Gemara, Ahu apitrope diasmin zabin le tura liasmin. There was this guy, caretaker of Yisayim. He was the executor of the Yisayim's money, and he bought an ox on behalf of the Yisayim. Umasre lebakra, and he gave it to a shepherd to watch. Lehavele kavi v'shine lemechel mis. And this ox didn't have any teeth, so it starved. It had no teeth to eat. So now, who's at fault over here? How do we judge this judgment? Do we tell the executor, Zil Shalim, go pay? What did he do wrong? He can say, I gave it over to somebody, a shepherd, to watch. Do we tell the shepherd, Zil Shalim, go pay? He said, I didn't know that this animal has no teeth. So what did I do wrong? Nobody told me it has no teeth. So now it says, so therefore, the shepherd is a shomer sachar of this rancher, is a shomer sachar of the assignment. He should have checked the animal to see if it has teeth. So the Gemara says, you're right. The assignment didn't lose out anything. If the assignment lose out, then you're right. Then the shepherd has to pay. Here we're talking about the lekib say to the asme. There's no loss to the Yisayim. The Yisayim said to the person that sold this animal, which had no teeth, he said, you ripped off my executor. Give us back the money. And the Yisayim got their full refund back. So the Gemara says, who's at fault? Who's claiming for money over here? So the Gemara is saying, the owner of the sheep, of the ox, is complaining that although he sold an ox that has no teeth, he's complaining to the executor that bought the ox, and you should have notified the shepherd that this ox has no teeth. So the Gemara says, "My Medina, what should I? How could I have known? Made the yada the mekatoyis have it. You knew it was this whole thing was a mistake." And wait a second. So the shepherd, the guy that sold the ox, says that you know that I buy from one person, and I didn't even know the one that sold the shocks is actually a retailer. So he buys from many wholesalers, and he himself, when he sold the ox, didn't know that this ox has no teeth. So the Gemara concludes, Hilkach mishtabe either lahavi yada, the one that fault here is the shepherd. When you take something to watch, you have to examine it and get to know it first. He should have gotten to know that this animal has no teeth, and therefore, if it has no teeth, he's going to be held liable if the animal starved to death. Oh, stop over there. I have to. Unfortunately, I have the simcha. I'll continue B'ez Hashem tomorrow.
Thank
Thank you.
Enjoy.